Why do they pull their dicks out for Harambe?
Well, gorillas have notoriously small penises. It's kind of depressing. They're only about 2 to 3 inches long.
Why do you even know that?
Because, Becky, when I was a child, I was very curious.
You just cut it at when I was a child.
Yeah.
No,
when I was a rich boy.
I was the kid in the cage.
Oh.
That was me.
Okay.
And Harambe got erect.
Hey guys, welcome to the Free Rotation podcast. It's very early this morning, but I am joined by my favorite people in the world, Angie.
Good morning.
And Booby.
Hi.
And today, it is the spoopy times. It is the time in which everybody wants to watch the horror movies, and we are talking horror movies today. We're going to run down some interesting tropes that you see in horror movies and talk about our favorite horror movies and their tropes and try and get to into our psyche as to why we like these horror movies.
So, Angie, what are the common tropes?
Well, Bobby, I'm glad you asked. I know these by heart. They're in my memory.
It's ingrained?
Yeah, it's not in the phone in my hand. No. Ignore the man behind the mirror. I'm talking to him. Okay, it's
Copyright
way too
strike.
early. It's too early.
God damn it.
Just too early. Well, there's the jump scare.
Which everybody should know.
Mm-hmm. This one is a common trope. Very common. But it's where, like, you'll hear the music start building up and da-da, the music is loud and something pops out at you.
The Kool-Aid Maid comes through the wall.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not actually something scary. It could just be like they're setting you up.
Yep.
So you get
A fake
accustomed
out.
to the fake outs and then
Right.
the big one.
You
And
generally
I don't mean an orgasm. That's a different trope.
I do want to... It's the best jump scare I've ever seen. Have you ever watched The Exorcist 3?
Yes.
Remember the hallway scene where it's like it builds and he comes out? Yeah, that's shit.
The ones with the best build up, like Bobby's microphone just did a pop-up scene. And some of us call these pop-up scenes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. They always. I mean, the big problem a lot of people have is that it is the number one common trope in movies. So you always see people like, "All it had was jump scares. It wasn't actually scary."
What's your favorite jump scare in a movie?
You know, it's generally like the ones where it is the one that diverts. So you see somebody like, oh, they're walking through the creepy house and the music builds, and then it's their friend, and they're like, hey, what's happening? And then suddenly they turn around and there's a face right there looking at them. Yeah. That always gets me because it's like, is it actually gonna, like, it's already been set up that it's not a jump scare and then it is a jump scare, and I don't like that spontaneity. I need everything to be consistent in my life.
Yeah. I think my favorite jump scare, and I forgot it already because I started thinking about a funny one. But in Scary Movie, where the black girl's hiding around the corner and she's hiding with who's Anna Faris's?
Stacy, I think, something like that.
Yes, Daisy. Well, they're sitting there and she's scared, and the black girl's like, "Oh my God, girl, what's coming? What's coming?" And then the skeleton pops around the corner. She was like, "You scared of a skeleton?"
You know what?
Girl, and she like takes the skeleton apart.
You know what? And it's not movie related, but video game related. When you played Pacify, that game where the girl, you had to get the dolls or whatever. When the girl popped up at you and you screamed, but then she kind of did this weird like walk at you, like she was like teaching you how to Dougie. It was like the funniest thing I've ever seen. You're like, what the? And you just kind of hit her. You're like, what the?
And then every time I'd see her, she'd just stand in the air like,
She was doing the chi-chi ha-ha.
She would just wait for me
just
to go
wiggle,
upstairs.
wiggle.
If she wanted to kill me in that game, she easily had a chance there because I was stuck in the wine cellar for, an hour?
Yeah, but she just wiggle. Hey, girl. Wiggle. Hey.
Why did you kill me when I was literally in misery in the wine cellar, couldn't get out? Yeah, I'm stumped on my jump scare now because I totally... thought of a Scary Movie. Anyways, let's move on. The no coverage trope, being chased by a killer through the woods, hiding from a monster in a closet. If you're a character in a horror film, chances are your cell phone will have no coverage at the crucial point.
Or I think what makes scary movies scary nowadays, though, is everybody's like, oh, you have a cell phone, it has no coverage, lol. It's when they put it back in like the 1980s and there's no cell phone.
And that's why you'll see a lot of horror movies actually set back then because writers and producers and stuff have had to work out, well, why didn't they just call for help? Kind of like the End of the World one. with the Jenga tower.
Yeah.
That Scoob had us do, and Becky's like, I'll just make a call on my cell phone. Or, like, the point of the horror thing is just to get to where you can make a call on your cell phone.
Right, because your phone doesn't have to have signal to call 911.
Right.
Exactly.
So you got to set it back in, like, the 1980s when the only way you could communicate with somebody was, like, a note that said, do you like me? Check yes or no.
Are you going to stand still and let me kill you? Check that or no. Like, I'm going to go with no here. The abandoned place.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a haunted house or dilapidated hospital. Like, the abandoned places.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, that's why there's a lot of found footage horror movies now, which I love the found footage ones.
Yeah.
And they're super cheap to make, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You just need a video camera and let the actors or whoever's doing it run around like they're scared.
Yeah.
Good job, Blair Witch.
Like, my favorite pop-up scenes and jump scares are the ones like in Blair Witch where you just kind of wake up with them and they're hearing, like, the kids laughing outside and the things hitting the tent, and then suddenly, like, the tent will snatch.
Well, it's because you're seeing it. I think it's because you see it from their perspective. You're not seeing it from, like, this, like, third-party narrative like you would normally see other movies.
They're the best.
They're the best. If we were going to have a found footage in an abandoned place, where would we be when we had
A comic book store.
Or a pizza place.
Okay, I was going with, like, an old asylum that we were.
Oh,
Fair.
you see, you have a whole different perspective on things.
Yeah, you guys-
I'm thinking Battle and Brew at like 60 years from now, and it's haunted by like the virgins who just sat there and played video games
Bobby's
all day.
thinking Nancy's, Chicago style pizza.
Oh, that was so
was
fucking
good.
good.
I thought about it all week.
So good.
Go fuck yourself, Sasquatch conference.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
The vengeful spirit.
Very classic. The Ring. The Ring actually
Yeah.
was like the first movie that scared me
Right.
so bad.
The Grudge.
The Grudge being another
Yeah.
one.
So, yeah. I mean,
13
the
Ghosts.
Exorcist
Yeah.
wasn't exactly a vengeful demon, but when you think about it, all demons are vengeful against the human race. So,
Yeah, you don't see a demon that's like, y'all, we Gucci. Let's all just love and peace and all that kind of
have you
stuff.
seen that dog meme where it has it was like, I got drunken and accidentally said a few Latin words, and this is what I summoned, and it's this sweet little bulldog, and he's smiling. He's
Yeah.
got little toofies.
I've seen-
So
I saw
cute.
that.
It's so cute. But yeah, so like some examples of this are like Becky said, The Grudge, Paranormal Activity, The Conjuring, and It Follows.
Yeah. It Follows being the classic.
Yeah, even though it's newer,
Yeah.
we're talking like classic on that one. And then it said, this one, and I got this off raindance.org because I'm going to do some verbatim quoting. It says, have you ever noticed that most of these films, characters eventually just seem to accept the fact that ghosts exist and they need to help them? Like, think 13 Ghosts. These were awful ghosts, but we got to help them.
Well, yeah, it's
Why
like
don't you exercise it? Exercise.
exorcise.
Put it on a treadmill and run the fuck away. Or as Scoob said, do a 360. Okay, Bobby, we were talking about scary stuff one time.
Uh-huh.
And Scoob said, I'm going to do a 360 and run. Yeah.
Oh, Scoob.
Oh, Scoobaroo.
Make sure your
look
child's
forward to
better
Halloween.
educated.
I look forward to every year where we can point out the 360 and run.
Well, I think about every year, like, if we ever do have a zombie apocalypse, we never have to worry for Scoob because he'll just run right into
They'll
them.
run right in and they'll feast for weeks. After they succeed with making the ghosts happy, everyone is happy and they can go back to their normal lives. But what about the fact they now have proof of an existence after death, and a terrible, anger-filled one at that? This is a world-changing revelation, even if just the person who experiences it. How would someone really deal with that? I mean, I already believe in this, so if I actually saw it, I'd just be like,
Can confirm.
I knew it.
Well, I think
I knew it.
we had Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. That was a kind of a meta movie because it's the book that's being filmed about the book, about a vengeful spirit who wrote the book.
Yeah.
So it kind of plays into that sense of vengeful spirits, but it turned out she wasn't actually, and that's a whole new thing now too, is the vengeful spirit who's actually not a vengeful spirit, but trying to protect the home because there's actually another vengeful spirit. Like you got to build, it's like building to build on that.
Like Monster House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Or remember the TV show Ghost Whisperer or
Yeah.
a medium? They would always see like the worst stuff when the ghosts would appear, but it's because that's just how the ghosts were. So it may not necessarily be a bad spirit. They're just asking her for help, but they would be so scary when they would pop up.
And let me tell you, I've had bad no makeup days, okay? Some days you just not looking hot, and especially if you're dead, I'm sure you're not like looking like a snack on a runway. You're like, I'm died. I got hit by a car.
Why do you think I dress my best every day? Because if I die, that's my death outfit. I have to
See, I want to be comfortable in death, so I will wear sweatpants.
Wait, was Patricia Arquette in Medium? Was that her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
She was way prettier in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
She looks a little rough now.
Well.
I guess is David Arquette her brother?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that explains
They
a lot.
just did not age well.
Okay, Bobby's favorite, The Death by Snoo Snoo.
Oh yeah, the sexy times.
I mean, and this would be, I mean, you could also make an argument that It Follows would fit in here because you died because of sex. But like, think of all like the Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. If you had sex,
You die.
if you were the virgin, you might live.
Which I kind of wonder if that was intentional or if it was supposed to be some sort of like message to society to be good. Just be good people. Because if you have sex, you're going to die.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to bring up. Horror movies are really progressive and also regressive in a way. Like you have strong female characters.
Yeah, you
that
got
can do
strong.
things.
Yeah, but don't have sex.
Yeah, don't have sex. It makes you a whore, and then the monster's gonna get you.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So it's like, hey, you can be strong and independent, but don't be putting no pee-pees in your holes.
Yeah, if you're well, what about the lesbians, Becky?
We don't die. Have you ever
There's
seen
lesbians that died?
Yeah, there's total lesbians that die.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as we don't insert things into each other, we're good.
Is sex.
Sex is
Love
sex.
is love. Where is your
Gay pride.
It is Pride Weekend.
It is.
The irony is strong in here.
But I'm talking about the
We're
old.
going to a drag show tonight.
Oh yeah, that's true. But you got to think about it. I'm talking about the ones from like the 70s and 80s. You rarely saw lesbians in that one or gay men.
They were heavily hinted at,
Implied.
Implied, yes, but
Yeah.
never actually saw them doing the deed.
Correct.
Okay, and this line on the raindance.org, just putting that out there because I do verbatim from here. It says, this trope seems to have died off in recent years, no pun intended. I think that's funny. Then
Well-
it says, but it does pop up from time to time.
Well, it kind of makes sense because we live in a more progressive age. Even though horror movies were modern for their times, it was, we've kind of progressed into a place where people live together before they're married. It's not weird to have sex and like before marriage and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Abstinence only is not the correct way to teach sex ed.
Mm-hmm. Like Happy Death Day, she was promiscuous,
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
but she was also a final girl, which is our last trope.
Ooh.
The final girl.
But I want to kind of put out to that one though, is it wasn't because it's important to point out it was, and we all know this, it wasn't because she was promiscuous. It was just because she was a shitty human being. And she
Yeah.
needed to realize she was a shitty human being.
Which is a comedy trope.
Right.
So and that was a comedy horror. Kind of like the two rednecks in the woods who
Oh, Tucker Never vs. Evil. That movie's fucking great.
I love it's one of my I didn't include it as a favorite because it's not truly a horror movie.
Yeah, it's
but
adorable.
It
It's so
is.
cute.
I absolutely love it. We gotta help them. Oh dear, they're dying right and left.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have the final girl trope. And this one is like in the old slasher movies where it's a group of friends and there's the final one.
Yeah.
That the audience emphasizes? No.
Empathizes?
Empathize. I had all the letters. With.
This is
Brain
our
farts.
horror ASMR podcast now.
They emphasized her in that movie.
They made real emphasis on her.
Emphasis.
Rah!
Or as your professor in college would say, the point eludes me.
But spelled it with ALLUDE. It's like, you're my English professor and you don't understand how this
How
works.
did I reference you? I was talking about stupidity. Oh, I alluded to
we
you.
got
Oh,
there.
I gotcha. Okay.
But you know what movie did a great job as to the final girl trope was Cabin in the Woods.
Or the movie just called The Final Girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a book
No,
called...
Cabin in the Woods was great.
Yeah, there's a book called The Final Girls.
And it had a weird twist to it. When she got raped by that bush, I was like, what the? And it went into detail.
You talking about Evil Dead?
That was Evil Dead.
Yeah, but Cabin in the
Did
Woods
they
made
do
a
that
play
too?
on it. When
Oh.
she's running at the very end and they have to get her. Remember, it combined all those movies and she's running away and it gets her.
I don't remember. I haven't seen Cabin in the Woods in a long time, but I'm sure you're probably right. You've probably seen it
I
more recently
was
than I
going to
have.
say I'm probably wrong.
No.
I appreciate your
We-
confidence.
We're going to
Provide-
be Canadian right now and say I'm sorry. Moose.
We provide
Oh
emotional
There goes our
and
Canadian
mental
listeners.
support here
Mhm.
to everybody. And
Okay.
if we're right, we're right. And if we're wrong, we're still fucking right.
Yeah.
And if you want to criticize us, go fuck yourself.
Make your own goddamn
And
podcast.
Bobby, you had some observations about tropes that you wanted to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the 6 common ones. There are some uncommon ones.
Yes. Well, going back to the common ones, 'cause I actually don't have any uncommon ones on here.
Oh, it's fine.
We can cut that out.
Okay. Keeping it in.
Yeah. Again, I think we briefly touched on it, that how horror movies are progressive and regressive. You know, you have strong female characters. They're not dumb. They're intelligent, but they're always the homely one. They're always the one that's like not getting that dick. Like in Halloween,
Right.
And
They're
every Friday
the-
13th.
They're the book nerd and
Yep.
Yeah.
not the party girl. It's very, very rare to see the party girl.
But everybody knows Velma was into that freaky shit.
Yeah, she was. She was always bending over to look up Daphne's skirt. We know
Hell
what was happening
yeah.
there. Let me get my magnifying glass. Velma, why are you looking at the ceiling?
Did you ever watch?
Shoes are on the floor.
Did you ever watch Robot Chicken? Okay, so it's like a parody show, and they parodied like Lysander from the girl that kicked the Hornet's Nest books and the girl with the dragon tattoo joins the mystery gang.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And she seduces Velma, and they go at it, and it's hilarious.
Well, I'm gonna watch that one.
Well, it's claymation, so it's you can't really get.
Well,
onto
and
it.
the thing with like going back to like the final girl and stuff like that, it's like I get that you want to always have an underdog story, but at the same time, it's like to be a final girl, you have to be virginal. You have to do going back and thinking about going back into Cabin in the Woods. That was what made it so funny. Is it circumvented that? Is like first off, she was not a virgin.
Mm-hmm.
You just thought she was, and second, she wasn't a final girl. There was still another guy alive.
Yep.
And
Stoner.
so the apocalypse had to happen because they didn't do it the correct way.
It's a whole thing.
Okay, so what we decided to do was take 3 of our favorites, and because Bobby had a great idea, like with it being Halloween, why don't we talk about our 3 favorite horror movies, and then we can examine the tropes and do a psychological analysis about what does that say about us.
Listen, I got a bachelor degree in psychology. I'm clearly an expert.
Do
Clearly.
you? I thought you was in law. I thought I was in law.
No, I have a psychology and sociology
Yeah.
degree.
That's your secondary degree.
Yeah, my secondary degree is law because guess what you can do with psychology and sociology?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But you can go
Guess
to law
what you
school.
can do with English and history. You can go to law school.
You-
And if you don't, you can get an accounting degree.
Or you can get your master's and become a fucking teacher. Fuck
Yeah.
kids, though.
Mm.
No, don't actually fuck kids. But fuck, kids are like the worst. in
Okay,
general.
Bobby, you've dug yourself in the hole. I don't think you can crawl out at this point.
So, Bobby, is Child's Play your favorite horror movie?
Oh, God.
Oh, it's awful.
I get the joke. Oh, God. Okay, anyways.
Y'all making me take this too far.
All right. So, Bobby, what are your 3 favorites? Let's start with you.
My 3 favorites are Evil Dead 2, the original Halloween,
Yeah.
and House of the Devil.
Oh.
There's some spice connections between the 3. All the movies deal with religion, whether it be an ancient or new age one. Evil Dead has the Necronomicon Ex Mortis and its demons and deities. Halloween has the Druidic Cult of the Thorn, though, to be fair, it's not introduced until the 6th installment. But when they in the 6th installment, they retroactively show things from the first movie. I'm like, it fucking works. It's fine.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. And then House of the Devil deals with the satanic cult trying to birth the Antichrist and Lucifer. Similar to Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So-
the baby's not born yet.
And here's the thing that's interesting, Bobby, is you're Catholic.
Raised Catholic. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we've always heard, like, the stereotype that Catholics always tend to have, like, not a problem, but it's kind of like daddy issues with religion.
Yeah, our God's not the great. Our God is not an awesome
It's
God.
hard. How about we say, okay, maybe not daddy issues, but it's hard to conform to the patriarchy that
Well, if God's
Catholicism.
the father, daddy issues could apply here.
I just like that it's daddy issues in religion. It's just
and
a
you call the priest father.
Yeah.
Let's just say daddy
Ooh.
issues.
Ooh, daddy.
I got daddy issues with the Catholic Church.
Saint Daddy of Daddyism.
Because you can never truly please the Catholic Church.
confess your sins.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
got-
no, that's true. And the thing
Yeah.
is, like, you are always having to repent, regardless. Like, you have a dirty thought, you have to go repent. You drink a Starbucks on a holy day, you got to go
Dare
repent.
you?
That's and I don't get that. Like, why does it matter? But whatever. No, I remember. So we're gonna go on a little tangent. We're talking about religion.
That's fine.
I remember when I was when you're Catholic, you get confirmed at 16 or 17. It's like you're in the church. It's your last ritual before you become a full-fledged member of the church. Anyway, I did a jacking off motion for people that, since we're not on camera. Anyway, before that, you have to be, clear sins and stuff. And I went to the priest, and I was like, yeah, I watched a fuckload of porn. I didn't say fuckload, but I watched a lot of porn You go how often? I'm like, once a day at least. And his eyes got really big. He's like, he did like the math. Like, yeah, I needed to say 120 Hail fucking Marys. I guess you didn't say a single fucking one. It wasn't that day, but like until my conference, like fuck that. Jesus fucked somebody.
Meanwhile,
too.
he's probably thinking, I wonder if I could hit him up for what he's watching because I'm running out of ideas.
I'm running out of little boys.
So, Bobby, the one connection I made from your three you like, and do I have your permission to get a little personal?
Go for it.
Well, I've always thought of you and the things you say about yourself. It seems like you generally have, like, even though you have a lot of friends and a lot of people do like you've always seemed to feel like you're separated. Like maybe your mind and heart operate at a different level. Like you're vibrating here and everyone else is here. So I feel like you have not isolation, but you identify with these characters because they are loners. They are, and not because they want to be, they're just alone.
Forcibly alone. Mm-hmm. It's a whole thing. It's fine. It's probably because either two of the reasons. Abandonment issues because I was adopted, or because depression.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like we need to have like a couch right now, and Angie needs to be wearing
No,
like little
because
tiny glasses and a notepad.
Well, when you think about Evil Dead, he handled everything with humor, but if you watch, especially if you watch the TV show, I mean, he wasn't always happy. That's just how he handled stuff, because otherwise, what's the other option if you can't deal with it with humor?
Go crazy.
Yeah.
And he does.
You become the Joker.
Yeah, and he did for a little bit in the second one with that scene fucking scared me so much growing up. That scene.
Chainsawing?
No. The scene where all the shit comes to life in the cabin.
Oh,
all like the furniture.
Couch and shit.
Yeah, that shit terrified me. Oh, because that combined with.
Because you wonder, was that real or his mind?
Because that combined with, remember in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, Johnny Depp gets sucked into the bed. That combined with that,
oh my God,
I was like,
yeah.
and I think it's gonna be like it's gonna do that to me, but the couch is gonna be laughing at me at the same time. So yeah, maybe super
like
uncomfortable.
The big blue couch.
Oh my God.
Or the big comfy couch.
Yeah. Oh no, it's the blue chair and Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
And the big comfy couch. Yeah. Ooh, gosh. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And I watched Pee Wee Herman and the big comfy couch when I was growing up. So
Yeah.
past childhood trauma. It's fun, but yeah, I also identify with Ash the most because we both have shitty love lives. Both have great hair. We're both easily annoyed. So pretty much he's my dad.
And you both have chainsaw arms.
Exactly.
Oh, that explains so much.
And so that means he's pretty much my dad. I'm coming for child support, motherfucker.
Campbell, you owe.
You owe at least a couple of $100 in arrears.
Yes.
In his rear.
I mean, Bruce Campbell's one of the two men that could fuck me in the ass, and I wouldn't stop him. It's him and Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Two very different people.
Not
but
Ryan Reynolds, but Ryan Gosling?
Drive is one of my favorite movies.
Oh.
Reynolds would be like a good, like, we're just blowing each other kind of guy. But Ryan Gosling and Bruce would take good care of me.
Happy Gay Pride, everybody.
Ryan Reynolds would do like the casual hand job as you talked. Football, yeah. I can see that. Okay. So now that there's an awkward silence,
I don't know what we should talk about next.
Becky's 3 movies.
Okay, so my 3 movies, which I don't have written down or any like specific notes to anybody, is
we'll couch analyze you.
Yeah, that works. The Descent, which was one of the first horror movies that ever scared me. Hereditary, and I keep saying Insidious. It's not Insidious. It's Sinister.
It's Sinister.
Yeah, I always get Insidious because they sound the same and they came out about the same time. But Sinister, where it's the evil demon movies that or videos that they find in the attic. And he gets closer and closer, and then he looks at you. Right. And I think my thing with those movies is it's kind of a fear of the unknown. There's a lot of to me, it's like there's a fear of the unknown first off, because the descent literally is you descend into the unknown.
Yeah.
Hereditary is this weird like family relationship where it's kind of
you think you figured it out, and then you realize you didn't know a thing about what the movie was
right.
Do.
And not even that. It's like their family doesn't even understand their family. Like you have such a disconnect between the characters about who they are and what they are. And you suddenly find out, like, oh, they're all in an evil satanic cult. Oh, or the grandmother was. And then with Sinister, it's kind of the same genre. It's like these. It's just an unknown. Like, what is this thing that exists?
And it starts off so innocently, and then he's this unknown who starts moving on the film, and then he comes out and.
Yeah.
I think Becky likes it because the Bagul is a Babylonian deity, and guess what? The Babylonians were brown.
Oh.
And
can't confirm.
And he liked The Descent because there's a lot of women loving in that movie.
Was there?
No, there wasn't.
No, one of them was bi or
Well, yeah,
gay.
one of them was, but I think she got eaten real early in the movie.
Oh, I bet she did, Becky.
What was
She
your
had a
other
lot
one?
of
What was your other one?
Hereditary.
It's 'cause she like making that noise.
Oh God.
Stop it, Bobby.
No.
I almost choked on coffee.
On a serious note, I think because a lot of those three movies, if you look at it, there is sort of disconnects between what are relationships between people. Because in The Descent, the main girl and kind of her adversary, who used to be her friend, I think if I remember correctly, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. I think her friend had like cheated with her boyfriend or something like that. So there was this disconnect between friends, and there's like a disconnect between family and the disconnect between the ones in Sinister. There's that family relationship there and how it can be torn apart. I think to me, it's like you have to have better communications in your relationship. I think that's what it is.
So if we had to assign a trope, yours would probably be the final girl. Because it is one person who knows the truth against everyone else.
Yeah. And this like fear of the end. It's like peeling back layers. I like movies that have layers to it.
Shrek.
I mean, to be
Onion.
fair, there are layers in mountains when you descend. So I'm guessing that's where I'm going with this. Because really, if you think about it, The Descent is just a movie about like evil cannibal albinos living underground and nobody knows about it. But there's like that claustrophobic, but nobody knows where they are and they had no idea. Like there's nothing on the map. Nobody will ever find them. So
Yeah.
it's like kind of that being lost.
Well, I think a new common trope that we're developing is an isolation trope. Because in a society where everyone is always busy, whether it's just you playing a game on your phone, it's so easy to feel isolated.
Yeah.
I see it a lot as an older, wiser. Okay, I won't.
Wizard?
Pretend I'm wise. Yes, wizard. I'm wizened.
A mage.
Yeah, when you were younger, the cell phone was actually just a fucking brick. You could kill someone with
Yeah.
it.
So what would you say my psychological issues are?
Well, I think that you just have a fear of the unknown. You worry. You worry about what could go wrong, and
Oh, that's true.
yeah,
It's called anxiety, girl.
I mean, I do have real bad anxiety.
Yep.
To the point, like, I'm working all the time, like, this weekend, because I have a fear of the unknown in my own job.
right. You want to plan for any eventuality. So I think you like, well, your favorite horror movies seem to involve something that it pulls out like your internal fears. Like, hey, guess what was in this mountain? It also justifies your fear of the unknown.
Right.
I knew there was something to be scared of. Nobody clicks their tongue like that.
And I didn't talk about It Follows is probably my top favorite horror movie. I didn't talk about it because we talked about it last year, but I think that also kind of falls into it too. Is it's like
Right.
you do something so spontaneous, and then look what it is. It's your
Well,
repercussions.
and not only that, but you never know who was It Follows.
Right.
Like in the
What's
movie,
following?
when they went to that school and you saw somebody walking directly to him across the quad, is that It Follows? Most likely. And they never knew who the It Follows was.
Right.
Yeah, I remember watching a video about how to beat it, and it was like, become a flight attendant.
And just fly back and forth.
Exactly, because it's walking.
Okay,
It doesn't
Becky.
run, it walks.
It was my email.
Okay, Becky.
Office Depot.
It was
Your phone just wanted to make a click noise.
Yeah.
that was turning into a vibrator, but sure.
Oh, yeah. You did say you were turning it into a vibrator.
Here's what scares me the most. Allergic reactions.
Moving on to mine.
Although to be
Three.
fair, I just want to say I did think we did mention this when you had that allergic reaction to the shellfish. I'm like, please don't stick your head out the window. I really
Oh
can't go with that.
God.
She's like, my tongue is swelling. That's all
I
it is.
just can't breathe. Tongue is too big. Becky's like, what'd you say? What? I can't understand you.
Can
Your
you tell
tongue-
me about the seashells on the seashore?
Dead.
So Angela, what are your
Yeah.
three favorite
Yeah.
horror movies?
Okay, I'm pretty generic. I like The Exorcist,
Uh-huh.
Paranormal Activity,
Uh-huh.
and I was sitting here thinking, and my third favorite movie would have to be Nightmare on Elm Street: The Final Nightmare.
Really?
That's
Which one
the-
was it?
It's the one where it's the actress who plays Nancy. It's basically
Oh, A New
her
Nightmare.
real self. Yeah,
New Nightmare, yeah.
the New Nightmare, and he's like coming to life because people have stopped watching his movies and reading his books.
Mm-hmm.
So he's coming after her. So I'm vengeful spirits. Like, that's me.
And I think I think what scares you is that the possession. Those are possession movies, almost. Not Fear of the, not New Nightmare.
No, they're possessions. Yeah.
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 Well, because he's trying to get her.
He's trying to get it through the
possess-
kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because if he gets him and he gets in him, then he's alive.
All your movies have in common are white people. So you're basic.
Probably.
I mean, it's fine.
Well, no, and I think a lot of it is that you have a real deep-seated fear of you're not like not real like Satanists, but like the idea of satanic cults and demons and stuff like you have a deep-seated fear of this
I
stuff.
don't really have a fear of Satan and Satanists. I have a fear of demons, evil spirits, shadow people, because these are things I've experienced and things I grew up being taught to fear.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the thing is, it's also a fear of the unknown, but in the sense that if something that could be out there, and it's something that you can't control either.
Well, and I think it is out there. Like, I don't think could be. I think it is. So movies like that really scare me. Like Insidious
Yeah.
scares me. I believe in that. Like, I genuinely believe in that. And when you think about our favorite movies, they're all things that you can genuinely believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But, and it's also to me, it's like those movies are people who have lost control of something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like a scary part of being anything. And I think that might be a little underlying thing, is that there's a fear of losing control, and you can't control if something nefarious is happening.
Well, and I had a hard time choosing between Friday the 13th, The New Nightmare, and I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street, The New Nightmare, and Friday the 13th, Part 7, which is one with the psychic.
Yeah, Psychic Girl. Yep. New
I
Blood.
mean, that was an incredible, and it was also, when you think about it, a vengeful spirit, because her dad comes up out of like the end and takes him, and that was just pure
It
vengefulness.
was pretty much Carrie versus Jason.
Oh, it was incredible.
Yeah.
And Jason, at one point, he's looking at her like, what the fuck
What's
is
going
this?
on? Yeah.
He's chasing her down the road.
Yeah.
And she's like one of the few who actually runs and gets away from him. So you knew in the beginning this was going to be different, because he's like, where'd she go?
Yeah.
Well, he's chasing her down a road by the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And she turns around, and she's telekinetic. She takes the light poles, and she brings him down, wraps him up, and electrocutes him. And he just stands up for a moment, and he stops. And he's like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to pursue this.
Yeah, fuck
Like, there's
that.
a couple of times that she beats him. So, honestly, I'm going to move that one up over New Nightmare.
Okay. That's fair.
And I wonder if it's also because you've had you did say it, but you've had scary experiences with dark things. It's not like you see like a good ghost and you're like, oh, it's a good ghost. It's like you hear like the creepy stuff that happens.
Yeah, like, weird stuff happens all the time. And, I mean, I'm sure there's good ghosts, or good spirits. I've never seen them. Maybe when I was little, and I didn't have like the best childhood, but sometimes I would sit in my room and I'd feel like something was behind me rocking me, like comforting me.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, I don't think all evil is just 100% evil.
Yeah.
And I don't think good is ever absolutely
Well,
good.
think about the villain always thinks they're doing it for good intentions.
Not always.
Well, true.
Some people know they're bad.
Well, yeah, but the ones you can sympathize with are the ones that you generally can see where they're coming. Like Thanos.
Like Thanos. Snap your fingers, bud. Do
Half
it.
the population is gone. Look how, in part 2, what did he say? Look how your world has flourished since we killed half of the people.
And it was true.
It was true.
had. Like, extinct species had come back. Plant life was thriving. Tony was happy.
Yeah.
Ladies, I'm bad. Bad at everything.
I'm bad. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah.
Do we have anything else to add?
Yes.
Okay.
So, taken into all of our tropes, it's interesting that we like 3 different horror tropes, so we're not the same. What is that? Do you think that's part of our appeal?
Yes.
Yes.
It's like a layer that you appeal.
If you make one more goddamn onion reference, I'm gonna fucking stick one in my eye.
Well, because you talked about Shrek a lot, Becky.
I can't help it. I understand it. Ogres are like onions.
Okay, that's fucking.
Why don't you
I'm
say
done with the pod.
parfait? Ain't nobody say, I don't like no parfait.
Well, and I think it's important to, like, I think everybody has to have their own hang-ups. And then you want to, I don't want to say we all have to compliment each other, but if we all had the same hang-up, how are we going to hang out with each other? We'll all just sit there and
We'd go insane.
mass anxiety and like depression, just being like, no.
Because maybe since you and Bobby have a sense of yours, what's out there in isolation, maybe, I don't know. I was going to say my calm, but I'm not always calm. Maybe that part of me that does feel like everything's okay, a super optimist, makes you guys feel better. For me, it's Bobby's that you can see humor in everything. I like that. The fact that you think ahead is nice and worry about everything, even though we just are going to do what we're going to do anyway.
Yeah.
You do put that thing in my head, like, maybe make sure you're not going to step on a snake.
Maybe we need to check with the woman to see if she has a bicycle and that it hasn't been stolen.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I
What?
was-
I need context.
Little girl in the neighborhood came up to me when I got home from work one day and was like, have you seen my bike? It's pink and blue. It's a Huffy. It's a trick bike and blah, blah, blah. And it's been stolen. I was like, oh, my God. We got to buy a little girl a bike. I was PMSing. I'm just going to preface it.
Yeah.
So I was all ready to go buy her a new bike because how dare somebody steal that sweet little girl's bike? And Becky's like, let's go make sure it's okay with her mom. And the mom was like, yeah, we saw it in the road. We're teaching her a lesson that how easily her bike can get stolen. So I'm like, that little girl is going to grow up and have some issues.
Okay, but going back to us, because I rather talk about us than a little girl.
Selfish.
I know. But I think I've gotten better about not always having like anxiety about things, like learning to let things go.
Would you go into an abandoned house with me now?
Hell fucking no. And no, why would I do that? What is the benefit of that?
So y'all can have the
you
spooky
haven't
good
gotten better.
times.
We went into an abandoned house once, and Becky was on the other side of the street. Like, I'm not even gonna do that.
Okay, we remember that the whole reason was that if we got stopped, I didn't want anything to happen because I was still in law school.
You're worrying, yeah.
Yeah,
You worried
somebody's
about
got to worry, and then if somebody got to call the damn cops.
It was an abandoned house, like truly fucked up haunted house. This house, they should make movies in this house.
As they say, not today, Satan. Not today.
No, yes today, Satan.
Say yes to the day.
Yeah,
Seize the day. Almost said simplify. Same thing. Prep and simplify.
Seize the carp.
Huh?
Never mind.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm fucking weird.
It's fine. It's fine. Honestly, my favorite horror movies are the comedies or the black horrors like House Arrest.
Oh, that was
Oh,
really
is that
good.
what Dennis? Not Hopper? Dude from the fucking. He played the thief. Was that? Or I'm thinking of something else.
This was like a Netflix
they
movie.
may have the same
Oh.
one. It was a Blumhouse. And,
Oh, gotcha.
she like gets put on house arrest, and then she realizes there's something in the walls and something's wrong with her neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And she like has to go through this maze of.
They think it's haunted, but it's actually some dude living in there, like
living in the walls.
like the walls.
Why would you
It
live
was
in a wall?
it was really good, but she had to move back in with her mom because she was on house arrest and she was homeless, so she had to live there. It was pretty good, but I love those, and I think that's why I like the Evil Dead movies.
They're pretty good.
And the two rednecks, I never can remember their names.
Chucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah,
The movie's gas.
God, it's so
That was
funny.
actually really good.
Yeah. It's cute.
It's interesting that none of us, other than my one Friday the 13th and Bobby's Halloween, we weren't really big fans of the death by sex ones.
No,
I think it's just
or
so,
slasher films in general. Like you don't
Yeah.
even have gore porn on our list.
I mean, I'm gonna watch them
Yeah.
Yeah, but
because they're horror, but they're
yeah.
not my faves.
it's a good background movie. Like, I'm gonna fuck around my phone while I have Friday 13th Part 5 on or something.
Well,
you know?
and I just don't think like movies where it's a slasher serial killer, they don't scare me so much because it's like, I think I would fight back. Like, yeah, come after
Yeah.
me, bro. I'm gonna beat your ass.
No, I just start sucking his dick.
See, that'll work.
Happy Gay Pride.
You know, I really like The Devil's Rejects, and I think the reason I liked it the most is because you think that they're rescued. The cops show up, it's over. You're like, good guys win. No, it gets worse from there. It gets worse.
I can't watch that movie. It makes me super uncomfortable. I just can't do it.
Yeah, it's an incredibly
Well, it's like
takes you out of any sort of comfort zone movie.
well, Hereditary does that. Like, it's such a scary movie. I will never watch it again. Like, it made me so uncomfortable.
The thing that gave me the worst anxiety about that movie was when he knew he refused to turn around when he had her head knocked off on the telephone pole. And he
Spoilers.
sat there, and he would glance up in the rear view, and he'd just see her leaned over. And then he drove home at like 5 miles an hour. He parks the car, gets out, and spends all night just staring straight ahead. And then you hear the mom get up, and then you hear her. They're getting ready, and she's like, I need to go into town and get some more bamboo easels. And then you know what she's going to see, and you're waiting for it. That, to me, was like the worst pop-up scene that was not a pop-up scene. And then you hear her screaming, and she's like, how could you? How could you? And then they don't address it in the movie.
Nothing gets addressed.
They're sitting at the dinner table, and nobody was like, you're a fucking dick.
Yeah.
And he knows he's guilty.
Yep.
And he's waiting for them to say something. And as the viewer, you're waiting. And that anxiety of that unspoken, that's what made that movie for me.
I think also because there's I've realized a lot of it too, sitting here thinking about these movies, especially my movies like Hereditary, it's like I'm always the one who wants to fix stuff. Like, as soon as something's wrong, my first thought is, okay, how do we fix it? Stuff like that, you can't fix it. She had knocked her head off. You can't sew it back on and she's good to go. If
She's just dead.
Yeah, you can't. If you go into a unknown cavern and nobody knows you're there and you get stuck, you can't fix it.
Well, and when you think about it, like the true horror of that movie started when the mom finally had enough at a dinner table, and he says something, and then she's finally like, "What do you want us to say?" I'm so mad at you. And then when they finally break is when all the horror starts.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if they had just sucked it up, Buttercup, and kept quiet, probably all the shitty stuff that happened afterwards wouldn't have followed. So it goes back to the 80s where it's like, just don't do it and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Keep
Way to
quiet.
bring it into a circle.
Full circle, baby.
Free rotation.
Hey, Becky.
Hey, Becky, where they can find us?
Not in the closet because that's where you're going to get killed.
Oh, I was
Not out in the woods.
I thought we were making a gay joke.
Oh, not in the closet. Well, Becky's still like,
Hey, how do you say I'm in the closet and you just announced that I'm like gay? That doesn't make any damn sense.
nobody listens.
That you know of.
No, that I know.
You can find us on Facebook at the Free Rotation Podcast. You can find us on Twitter.
You can find Becky in the closet.
You better cut that damn shit out.
Oh, no, it's just saying. Or do you want to edit it so you can guarantee it comes out?
You can find us on Twitter at the Free Rotation. You can find us on forgot what
Instagram.
I almost said Netflix.
Yeah, you can find us on
Find
Netflix. Never. You can find us on Instagram at the Free Rotation Podcast. We're also on Twitch and YouTube at the Free Rotation. Hey, maybe some spoopy games will get played this month. I don't know. Angie plays spoopy games, okay? And you can check us out at We Be Geeks. You can check out all the great podcasts there at WeBeGeeksPC.com. And we have a website. It's on TheFreeRotation.com. And yes, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, not SoundCloud. You can check us out there. Hey, sorry about last week. We didn't have an episode. That's because the Sasquatch conference were dickheads. Not to everybody. Not everybody.
No, just the one lady.
Just that one lady. Go fuck yourself, lady.
Yeah, Ginger.
You dumb cunt.
Your stripper name. We're keeping that in.
Yeah, we
Yes.
are.
And I hope you hear it. And I hope your heel breaks. Yeah, I said it.
I hope your husband cheats on you with a man.
Happy Gay Pride!
Woo!
Okay, I had something else I want to say.
Oh.
Oh,
Fuck.
God. Okay.
Oh, look, you're still in your cheer.
I am.
Yay! We're not done. God dang it. Oh, have you guys ever heard of a thing called fictionkin?
Ugh. That shit's so fucking weird, and those people are disgusting. You know what a fictionkin is?
No.
Feel like they are the reincarnation of a fiction character.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Not cosplaying. They are that character.
Yeah, it's on. It was a
Like Furrykin.
essentially.
But
Yeah.
fiction.
Fictionkin.
No, these are fictionkin.
Yeah.
So you might say, I feel in my heart, I am the actual reincarnation of Kuchikirukia.
I'm done.
So if we had to pick a
Oh my
fictionkin from a horror movie, who would your fictionkin be?
From a horror movie.
I don't think I have one. I wouldn't be from a horror movie.
Well, you have to pick a horror movie because that's our topic.
Oh, Ed Warren from The Conjuring.
Why wouldn't you just say Bruce
Okay.
Campbell?
Because I wanted to be.
Because he couldn't be
fucking
Bruce Campbell, he'd have to be Bruce Campbell's character in the Evil
Ash.
Dead.
He said he feels like he is like Ash.
Yeah, but
But
Ash.
he's not fictionkin, Becky. Fictionkin is you are
Oh.
reincarnation.
Yeah.
Who did you say?
Ed Warren from The Conjuring.
Meanwhile, Bobby gets terrified if we say, let's go into a graveyard at night. I'm not going to
No, graveyards are fine. It's that bridge, girl, and I don't like a Ouija board. Everything else I'm good with. All right, we can go. I'll go into a fucking house. I don't give a shit about a house.
Yeah, we're going in the house.
Yeah,
Okay.
give me a comfy
Ed
couch.
Warren, Becky.
I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't think I'd have a fiction kin from a horror
You
movie.
have to pick one.
I can't pick one.
You have to pick
Well,
one.
I can't pick one.
You can be the main girl from The Descent.
No, because then I
No,
die.
no. I know who Becky is. She's Velma.
Yep.
You're fiction kin to Velma.
Okay, I'll go with
You're
that.
even fussing like Velma fusses.
I even have the glasses.
You
Yeah.
do. Well,
And you look up skirts, so
Can we not say that because that's illegal, please?
up skirts.
You're so mean.
I love you. I am mean though. I am.
God.
What's yours, Angie?
I would be the chick from Scary Movie.
Oh
Anna
yeah.
Ferris's? Yep.
Yeah, I'd
That makes
totally be
sense.
her. Yeah. It's been a while.
Are we done now?
Thanks for listening.
Yes, Velma. Thanks for joining us, Ed Warren. Velma. Ruki.
What?
Free rotation.
because, like we all know, was that me or Bobby?
That was me. Sorry.
I'm going to own it, though, because I usually do it.
Okay, well, 1, 2, 3. That way we can cut it out.
Was that me or Bobby? Is that where we're picking up? No. Yeah, so abandoned places.